Okay, for today's lesson, we're going to have a reading assignment and then a writing assignment. You guys are going to make your first essay for this class. The topic I picked for our reading and writing assignment is the origin of the English language. And the reason I did that, or chose that topic, is if you have a basic understanding of the origins and the factors that led to the creation of the English language, you will better identify cognates. Because the rest of the week we're going to be talking about cognates, synonyms, and antonyms. So all this is available on our Google Classroom site, but I have it up here on the board. This is the address that you guys are going to use. Everybody here has internet access. If you need any help, of course, ask me. I'd be glad to assist you in going online and finding that, but I'm sure you guys have that. So for beginners, I'm going to do a short presentation on the causes and the creation of the English language. And then you guys will read the article later in the day. So, few maps. Now, this is what Great Britain looked like during the Roman period. The Romans were there for 400 years, and they colonized much of the island, but not all, because the existing folks there were the Celtics, and they had their own language. But when the Romans left, then tribes from the continent, from what is now Denmark, Northwest Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium, these guys here all spoke a very similar language, the Germanic language, and they settled onto Great Britain. As you can see by the different shades of color, this is where they settled, and these areas remained Celtic. They brought with them a Germanic language. Then later, a few hundred years later, the Vikings started arriving. And as you can see, they settled all over this area, and they made their raids, but they actually set down roots and brought their families into an area that they named Danelaw in Great Britain, and Normandy, Normandy, and France, what is now France. And their language was very similar to the existing population. Then, William the Conqueror from Normandy conquered what is now England, and he created England. Now, the Vikings who settled in North France or northern France, they brought with them their Germanic language, but later adopted the French language. And the rulers of England, for many centuries, spoke an old form of French. The existing population spoke an old form of English, or Anglo-Saxon language. And over the centuries, those two languages merged and created the modern English language. That is why so many of the words that you guys see in Spanish look like English words, because they both have a Latin origin. They're the cognates, cognados in Spanish. But other words, the ones of Germanic origin, do not look anything like them. But usually in English you have a word and then a synonym of the word, and one's from one origin and one's from the other. We're going to cover that tomorrow. But for today, I want you guys, right now we're going to take a break, and then for you to read this article here. Okay? When everyone's done, then we're going to cover the basic outlines of an essay. So go ahead and start reading. If you have any questions, I'm here. Let me know. Is everyone done? Okay. Everyone? Good. Okay. Any questions on your reading assignment? Any clarifications needed? Just ask me. No questions? Okay, guys, now we're going to cover parts of an essay. I know we talked about it before, and your outlines at your Google Classroom website. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands it, that we have it down, and it's just a very brief PowerPoint on the essay, on the parts of an essay. Okay. Well, first of all, we'll talk about the introduction. There are two purposes to the introduction: to get the reader's attention, which is the hook, and the second one is to introduce the topic, which is a thesis statement. And we'll talk about that more in depth now. Some guidelines for the introduction is be relevant to the topic, of course. Do not give details about the topic. Not yet. Not in the introduction. Have at least 2 sentences before the thesis statement, and the thesis statement comes at the end of the paragraph. Types of introductions: short story, historical information, or a thoughtful question. Just ideas. Introductions are written with general information at the beginning, and then it moves to more specific information at the end, which will, as we stated, is your thesis statement. Now about your thesis statement. It may be the most important sentence in the essay. It comes at the end of the introduction paragraph, as we stated, presents the main idea of the essay, and helps organize the essay. It may have a predictor which gives the reader how many paragraphs will be in the body. I gave you a freebie here. The major factors involved in the creation of the English language are invasion from the continent, the Norman conquest and the Renaissance period, and the British Empire. The body to this essay would contain 4 paragraphs. The body. So we had the introduction, 1 paragraph. For this one, we would have 4 paragraphs in the body. And we'll talk about that. It's the main part of the essay. Each paragraph is about one of the ideas you referred to in your thesis statement. Give examples and details to support the thesis statement. Each paragraph may begin with a transition, and in a 6-paragraph essay, the body is made up of 4 paragraphs. Okay, because you're going to have the introduction, the 4 paragraphs for the body, and then the conclusion. Conclusion is to let the reader know it's the end of your essay. In conclusion, to summarize, etc. A summary of the main parts or main points from the body. You just sum it all up. And or restate the thesis statement, but in different words. A final thought, prediction, recommendation, or an opinion on the topic. Any questions, guys, before you read your assignment and begin your essay? I just want to make sure we're all clear. Any questions? Yes, Jose. I'll say it one more time. You want to have the introduction paragraph, then your body. Depends. It doesn't have to be 4 paragraphs. It could be 3 paragraphs. That was just an example I gave. And then your conclusion. So it could be total of 5 paragraphs, could be 6, could even be 7. Depends on how large your body is. Any other questions? Okay, let's get started on that reading assignment.